celebrating 15 years of leadership. This is Morning Call, live from CNBC TV 18 headquarters in Mumbai.
Good morning. Welcome to Morning Call. I'm Lata Venkatesh. With me, Sonia Shenoy and Anuj Singhal. Oh, it's a black and white combo. Okay. The market's actually at this point in time celebrating as it were the return of liquidity. We are seeing the US markets practically saying that good news, that bad news is good news. That will mean the Fed rate hike is postponed. And we are seeing that hue getting repeated across Asia as well. Money is back or liquidity is back seems to be the tune. Hi, both of you.
Hi Lata, good morning. Hi Anuj, morning. Yes, we did get some data that there's the first inflow into emerging market funds in the last 13 weeks, and a small chunk of that has come into India as well. So out of the total...
So the last 3-4 days it's positive, isn't it?
Yes,
FII money.
yes. Out of the total $740 million of inflows into EM funds, there's been about $165 million that's come into India. So that's positive. And also some, snippets from the US markets. The data continues to be positive. So the jobless claims data has dropped by 7,000 to 255,000, and that's a multi-year low that we're seeing in terms of jobless claims. And the New York Fed President William Dudley also said that a rate hike is not favored if the economy continues to slow down. So it seems like the rate hike is now pushed into 2015. But Lata, what about our own trade data? How would you read that?
Well, I saw a lot of gloomy things written, but I'm really not all that gloomy at all. In the first place, nobody was expecting exports to do well. The globe is shrinking, we know that. I thought that clarion call which the Reserve Bank governor gave last year, make in India, make for India, because next year nobody is going to buy. Yeah. I thought that should be taken. It was a writing on the wall. I wouldn't, wonder. I would wonder why people are raising their eyebrows and taking it as headlines. But if you look at the export number itself, in September it's 21.8 billion. In August it was 21.6 billion. We haven't gotten worse. Though month-on-month comparisons are wrong because you have to seasonally adjust them. In any case, it doesn't look worse off. Look at the non-gold, non-oil imports. What would India import if it is non-oil and non-gold? They would be to some extent at least, goods which go into the industrial machinery. It indicates that there is growth. That is up at 23.7 billion in September compared to 21.4 billion in August. We imported a little more. And this is an achievement, Do you remember the Chinese import data? It was minus 20% in dollar terms. That's because prices of everything and anything in year-on-year terms has fallen. In spite of that, if the Indian non-oil, non-gold imports have not fallen so much, it indicates a capacity of the country to consume. Consume to some extent at least those which are used as inputs into industry. And to cap it all, all these are better than August numbers. Remember the August IIP came in at 6.4. So why should we worry for the September IIP number? It should be, if anything, at least as good as August. Further reverses from the global, weak cues need not be expected in September because our numbers are indicating we are a tad better in terms of trade data compared to August. So if you put this together with the services inflation rising, with indirect taxes rising and the IIP itself, I think compared to any other country, India is growing very, very slowly. But at least it is not contracting. That news comes very clearly in trade data.
All right, so there's some more good news coming in there. It's not all that bad. But Anuj, morning, the market had a good run yesterday. We are almost towards that resistance zone of 8200, 8220 once again. Given that we have a lot of positive cues stacked up, you get a sense that we could take that out very soon?
Morning, Sonia. So, it's both ways. If you are not able to take this out today, then there's a problem. But today it looks like the market has all the ingredients in place to take it out. The big positive you've already said, the foreign fund inflows, that clearly is back. Return of FIIs has been the big story in India over the last few days. Yesterday, even the DI buying was visible. And I think the bigger trigger this morning domestically is the diesel price hike. The big fear building up in the market was that the one big reform of diesel price freeing up has been taken away because of politics. We have, I think, Bihar election second phase today, today or tomorrow. So to have a big price hike just a day or two ahead of the biggest of the polls is telling you that that fear was unfounded. And that's a relief. Oil marketing companies itself is a small sector, but it's a big market positive. It's a big barometer of market sentiment. So that's why I think that is huge. So the market has ingredients in place to rally. And now the Nifty is again going to open at the higher end of the congestion zone. Yesterday it closed at the lower end, 81.80. Today it's likely to open at that 82.10, 82.15, which is also the 100-day moving average. So this is the zone. If the Nifty starts trading above 82.25 for a reasonable period of time, even for 3 to 4 hours, and closes above that, make no mistake, you'll see major short covering, because a lot of strong bears are still keeping their positions intact. If at all, they've been adding positions in this zone of 81.80 to 82.25. So a sustainable move above 82.25 is important. But as I said, ingredients are in place for a rally. If today also you do not rally, then there's a problem for the market, because everything is positive. Yesterday there was a bit of selling by FIIs in index futures, but as Bineet pointed out yesterday, there's some profit booking, but these FIIs can really get back into the market if they want in index futures terms. Index options, now this is where the big buy number is really coming in from. 750 crores of buying in index options, and most of that was call buying. In fact, you saw about 35,000 call buying and unwinding of 22,000 puts. That's really a big data that we have at this point in time. This kind of call buying clearly visible at 8,400. That is the logical target if the Nifty has to cross 82.25, and if it continues to trade above that. The base has moved up from 7,900 to 8,000. So that clearly is the other thing that stands out. So make no mistake, not a market in which you want to take aggressive short positions. This is a market in which you want to identify stocks and you want to buy. You want to increase your trading stop losses. Stocks like Tata Motors, stocks like Vedanta. The kind of rally that we have seen is telling you that there's still juice left in this market, but you've got to now keep increasing your stop losses and trade this market on the long side.
Okay, well, Vedanta, I'm still wondering whether the commodities downturn is over. But exactly on that point, why don't we have our global guest joining us? Michael Avery of Rabobank is joining us on the phone line. Morning, Michael. Thank you very much for joining us. What's your reading of the way in which risk assets have begun to rally? Is this clearly indicating that the Fed hike is off the table for all of 2015? In fact, we have now data that emerging market funds have started seeing inflows, their first inflows in several months, maybe 4-5 months.
Well, I think the likelihood of any hike this year obviously has been significantly reduced. That said, the inflation numbers out of the US yesterday were actually running slightly hotter than I think most of the Federal Reserve were expecting to see. But yes, the likelihood, as I said, has been reduced. And if we do move into 2016, in the near term, one can say that that's a positive for EMFX. But as I keep saying every time I talk to you guys, on an underlying basis, it makes me even more worried if really the global reserve currency, the dollar, and if the centerpiece of the global economy, the US, isn't able to raise interest rates. Now, I completely agree with the previous guest who was just saying that India is a relative outperformer against that gloomy backdrop. And I also, I see it the same way. But that backdrop is still very gloomy, and we have to bear that in mind at all times.
Okay. Michael, good morning. That point is taken, but just for the very near term, until the start of 2016, do you get a sense that from now until the end of the year, there could be more liquidity flowing into emerging markets, including markets like India?
I think it's going to be very, very volatile because sentiment can certainly shift quickly. So much money has come out that you could see some starting to flow back in again. But at the same time, all it's going to take is basically some hawkish Fed speak, which we still have the opportunity to see any particular trading week peppered with, or one really strong number, surprisingly, as an outlier in the US, and suddenly everything will scream back in the other direction. So I think you have to be very tactical, but you also have to have a strong stomach. It depends really on the timeline you're trading on.
Okay, so then how do you approach emerging markets now? If the market setup is going to be extremely volatile, as you pointed out, what should investors do at this juncture?
To be honest with you, I think most investors should avoid them at the moment. India, I think, within that particular universe is an outperformer, as I said. And I've repeated that, in previous interviews with you guys. But I think as a universe of investment assets at the moment, really, it's probably more trouble than it's worth in an extremely volatile environment.
Okay. Are you buying India now, or are you just not selling India?
If I held India, I would be not selling, let's put it like that. But as I, again, repeat every single time, my particular focus is maybe longer term than most individuals. And my primary thought at the moment with this level of background volatility is preservation of capital, not trying to squeeze out an extra 2% before the end of the year.
All right, Michael, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining us. Michael Avery has been warning that this liquidity-led rally is likely to lead to volatility, and the Fed rate hike not coming is actually bad news. Indicates that the Fed is not confident of its